Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to Good Morning with me, Misti B. Today, we are going to talk about something slightly on the serious side. And actually, I shouldn't say slightly. We are going to talk about all things hurricane related and more so about how to be prepared for hurricane season. You know, living in Houston, it's a good chance you've had the opportunity. I don't even know if I'd call that an opportunity, but it's a good chance that you have to endure a hurricane. And we want to make sure that you have a success plan, because think about it. How did you survive the other hurricanes? You know, when I think back, I was not here for Hurricane Harvey, but I was here during Hurricane Ike. And I can honestly say it was really weird. It was really crazy because we had enough in my household for us. But what ended up happening is everyone on our street was without power for about a week and a half to 2 weeks. And we were the only house on the street that had power. And guess what? Knowing your neighbors, that's the beautiful thing about having a good relationship with people, because they were able to just come over with absolutely no problem. So what are you going to do? What is your plan? It's time to start thinking about that. And today's guest is with AARP, and she's going to share all of the different tips and resources that you may or may not know about. So go ahead and get your pen and paper ready, because these are some good tips. We are going to be right back with today's guest right after this break.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month. Both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 1.9% APR for 60 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. RonCarterCadillac.com.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy, because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Welcome back. Today's guest is Miss Juanita Jimenez-Soto. And guess what? She is with AARP Texas Communications. We're going to find out some different secrets and tips about AARP that we never knew about. But more than anything, she's here to talk about hurricane preparedness. So she is going to get us all ready for the hurricane. Well, hopefully there's not any hurricanes, but just in case. Welcome. Thank you for joining me, Juanita.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be on your show.
Thank you. Now I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
So when I see AARP, I think senior citizen. Is your target audience senior citizens?
Well, AARP represents the 50 plus community. We advocate for them, financial, health, and any other issues that impact them. But we also look after their family, their communities. And no, you do not have to be 50 to join AARP. You can actually be 18 years old.
Really?
Yes.
So joining at 18, what would be the benefits?
The joining of, joining the benefits of joining AARP as an 18-year-old, of course, millennials and other youngsters love, and so do I, the discounts. We have so many discounts that, you can go and take advantage of. And that's why younger people are joining AARP. Plus the resources. We have so many free resources for people. There's interviews. We have the AARP magazine. And, Matthew McConaughey, Gray Star cover. So we're kind of hip and happening at AARP, and we want everyone to kind of, come along and be informed, have someone, have a fierce defender, a devoted friend, always there for them.
So what kind of resources? Tell me, because I may need to join.
Oh, of course, of course. Well, some of the resources we have is, brain health. We have this whole page devoted to brain health. So it's, how sharp are you? You can see and kind of see how sharp you are. If you think you're having a couple of little issues, kind of give you an idea. Should you go see your doctor? Should you not? Now we're not doctors, but it's something for you to access. Caregiving, a lot of caregiving resources, because believe it or not, we have in America, there are about 4 million caregivers. And the largest growing number of caregivers are millennials, believe it or not. Yes.
I would have never guessed.
Yes.
Okay.
You're caring, it's family caregivers, you're caring for a parent, a grandparent, a family member, or a close friend, trying to help them in everyday kind of duties that they have to do on a daily basis. The other thing is that we have caregiving resources, as in our podcast. We have a caregiving podcast, and we record twice a month, and we cover all topics from Social Security to Medicare to when is it safe to go out into the water type of thing.
Oh, wow.
Everything having to do with the caregiver and the person you care for, we cover those topics. And the number one thing, if you are a caregiver, you need to remember is you need to take care of yourself. Because if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of someone else. And it's all about being healthy, and everything that you do.
Fill your cup first.
Fill your cup first.
Now let's back up for a second, because you said you can join AARP at 18 years old. Okay, and you said discounts and resources. Now, Juanita, at 18, I was leaving for college, and I signed up for every credit card because I was getting a T-shirt. Okay, that was my discount. So now for 18-year-olds, what are the specific benefits for them?
Well, for them, travel. A lot of people who are younger, 18 plus, join us for traveling. Dunkin' Donuts, all these different restaurants.
So it's like a discounted percentage off of...
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, my husband, it's so funny because, I started working at AARP before I turned 50. And my husband, we went to Denny's, and I said, look, they offer a discount here. So he says, hey, I have my AARP card. So now everywhere we go, he'll ask, do you have an AARP discount? You would be surprised how many restaurants offer discounts.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm signing up today. Okay.
There you go.
Now let's talk about hurricane season. So it's here.
Yes.
We are officially in June, and we all know what can possibly happen. And let's talk about preparedness. I had a chance to talk to my friend earlier, and she was saying how between Harvey, and I think even Winter Storm, we have a little PTSD here in Houston.
That's right.
Right. So we see this much water and we kind of freak out. So what are some tools and tips that you have to share with us today about being prepared for the hurricane season?
Well, being a native Texan, I'm pura tejana, and I was raised in South Texas, and I moved to Houston. So hurricanes, you can say, are in my blood because I've been exposed to them since birth. But the main resource that we have on our AARP.org/Houston page is our hurricane page. It's a page that I designed, and it's devoted all to hurricane education, response, what you do before, during, and after the storm. Some of the things that we offer there are tips, like what do you need to have to get ready for the hurricane? If you're going to stay home, what do you need to stay home? If you're going to leave, what do you need when you leave? And a lot of people don't understand is if you care for someone, or if you're of a certain age and you have medications or what have you, some people think, well, that's okay, I just need a couple to kind of get through it. But no, you need to cover yourself for a week or two, even a month.
Wow.
Just in case something happens. We also have a radar that you can click on and get the latest radar where the storm is. We have you can download a hurricane tracking chart, and that way you yourself can kind of track the storm, where it's going, what is it doing. And then what you need to do during the storm, and then what you need to do after the storm. Who do you contact?
Wow, okay.
Do you have power? Do you not have power? How do you charge? Where are locations where you can go, charge things? I know a lot of this, if you don't have power, you can't access that page. So that's why we tell people, go to the page now, print those papers, have them ready to go.
Do people take you seriously when you tell them to download these things?
I think so.
Okay.
Especially living in Houston. I mean, we had Harvey, and a lot of us were here during Allison. That wasn't a hurricane, it was a tropical storm. And so that's the one I think that taught a lot of people what to look out for, what to do, and how to react. Because it's all about, being proactive instead of reactive. So if you're proactive, when you react, your steps kind of fall in line.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What's the one mistake you see most people do the most during hurricane season?
I think the one mistake they make is, I can write it out. I can write it out. It's an individual choice, of course, but that's the one mistake. And then they write it out without being prepared.
Wow.
So you need to be prepared, whether you write it out or you leave. Preparation is key.
Okay, we are going to come right back with Miss Juanita. She has given us all the tips. Okay, so make sure, let's start here. Make sure you go to AARP and download those documents today. Do not wait, because we never know when it's going to hit us. We'll be right back after this break.
Who are you getting vaccinated for?
We did it for our parents and grandparents.
We did it for our family.
I did it for my parents.
I did it for my family, friends, and community.
I got vaccinated for the ones I love.
Me too.
Get vaccine facts at aarp.org/txvaccine or call 833-832-7067 to schedule your shots.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac with the new 2021 XT6 luxury collection with standard third row seating for just $459 a month for 39-month lease with only $1 down. Or purchase and receive 1.9% APR for 60 months plus $2,500 bonus cash. Gulf Freeway just 2 minutes south of the Beltway. Test drive the new 2021 Escalade today at Ron Carter Cadillac.
Smarter when you shop Ron Carter. Ron Carter Cadillac.com.
I'm a part of the Prenatal Care Club now, taking all my STD tests.
Did you know your doctor's required by law to test you 3 times for syphilis and HIV?
Yes, my husband and I are making sure I get all 3 tests.
Good. Testing is the key to preventing congenital syphilis.
And good prenatal care is your first labor of love.
Glad to hear your husband is so involved.
Thank you. Yes, taking all my STD tests for syphilis is important to both of us. My prenatal promise is to prevent a stillbirth or miscarriage. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Welcome back. I am still in the studio with Miss Juanita Jimenez-Soto, and we're talking about all things hurricane related. All right, Miss Juanita, so before the break, we were going into preparedness. What does preparedness look like?
Well, it's always good to be prepared, no matter what. And yes, we're talking hurricane season because we are in hurricane season. It's from June 1st to November 30th. That's a big chunk of time.
It's a long time.
But we also had that freeze. So it's also really good to be prepared all the time.
What did you say? What would you say that looks like? Like, what is preparation for you?
Well, I think being prepared is being informed.
Okay.
And being able to make informed decisions. We have made a decision as an AARP organization. We have made the decision to partner with the American Red Cross. It's a great partnership because they have a lot of resources. They cover a lot of different, natural disasters. They're always there for us, just like we're always there for our 50+ communities and their families. So for us, being prepared is knowing what you need, knowing your situation, and acting accordingly to, what would be best for your situation. It's lining up, making that list, what is important, and what do I need to do to make sure that I satisfy that list. And it could be, with hurricane preparedness, don't forget that list of medications and have them go to the pharmacy and get them filled. I can tell you during this last hurricane that we had, I actually fell victim to that because, I called the pharmacy. Yes, we're ready. Come on over and get them. I went over. they closed their doors.
Oh, wow.
So had I acted sooner, had I done it sooner, but I was busy trying to get everything ready and work, remember, you come first. Your safety comes first.
Absolutely.
The safety of your family comes first.
Absolutely. You mentioned a tracking chart earlier.
Yes.
So on the tracking chart, are some of these items on there, like medication, food, or what's on there?
So on the tracking chart, you can actually flip through it, gives you tips on what you need before, during, and after the storm, the tracking itself. And, that's on our page. That is downloadable on our page. We also have on our page, you can download the list that you need to kind of cross off.
Okay.
So you know
it's like
exactly,
a checklist.
It's a checklist.
Okay, now let's talk about this. We talked about caregiving a little bit right before.
Yes.
So what do you do as a caregiver and you're responsible for someone perhaps who is elderly or perhaps who does not have mobility of their legs? What are some tips for those guys?
The first thing is to assess your situation. Who is it? What are their needs? And what do you need to do? Make a list. Make a list of people who can help you because caregiving needs to be, it takes a village. You've heard that, right? Well, it takes a village to be a caregiver at times as well. So you need to have those people kind of backing you up and should you need their help at one point or another. Make a list of their medications, their doctors, when they take them. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Got a bug.
It's okay. But you're saying some really good stuff here, right? Because you are taking care of so just like a child, right? I think people forget that it reverses, right? So you have a child.
And this is a person who is entrusted, who is in your care. You are trying to do everything you can to make sure that all their needs and in some cases other wants are filled. Just like when you said when you have a child. Now, this is an adult, someone who's, I always say be there for them. They were there for you, so be there for them. And it's you being there for them, but it's good to have a network of people that you can rely on. And it's also good if you have a partner or someone where, you can, say, okay, can you take care of mom for like an hour? I'm going to go walking. I'm going to go running. Because you need to take care of yourself as well. In order to be a great caregiver, you need to be in great health, and that's physical and mental.
And with the hurricane, I was thinking, so it's just me. So I was thinking, if you do have an older person that you have to take care of, and being a caregiver is not just necessarily an older person. It could be a child who has special needs, or a 21-year-old who has special needs. Caring for them and getting them to, like say for instance, if you're leaving, getting them to the vehicle, right? Or getting them to the next location, wherever you may go. Like these are some really good tips. And you said something earlier about after the hurricane.
That's right.
So we're so busy preparing for the hurricane. After, I've always wondered, when do you call 211?
You call 211 when you need them.
Okay.
Or if you try to anticipate. If you know that tomorrow you're going to need 211, call them in advance. That's what they're there for. It's a resource line.
Okay, what all do they do? Because I honestly don't know either.
You know what? They do a host of things, a lot of different things, which is great. But, sometimes be prepared. If you're calling 211, sometimes you'll be on hold, especially if there's something happening. You have to be very understanding that they are dealing with other people too. So 211 is a really good resource, and it covers a lot of different topics, a lot of different needs for a lot of different people.
Can you give us a few examples of when we would call 211 after a hurricane?
I would say if your power is out, the power company, you don't have the number, 211 is the best resource. I have this company, they can give you a number so you can connect to your power company. Gas leaks, what have you, very dangerous. Okay. If first 911, of course, but 211 can also help you to connect to whoever you need. Any other kind of resources, 211 provides these resources to you.
And I'm assuming they can help also with caregivers. Right, they have resources for them as well.
They have resources for caregivers. The Area Agency on Aging is a huge resource, and we work with them on a regular basis because they know this community more than anyone because it's who they deal with. Just like us, it's who we deal with, and they can help you. 211 can help you, connect you to them or other agencies that deal with the 50+ community besides AARP.
Okay. Now let me ask you this before we wrap up. Your partnership with American Red Cross, talk to me about that.
You know, we are AARP National, AARP as a whole, is partnering with an American Red Cross. And the reason we did that is because we wanted someone who had great resources, who's ever present and knows what it's like when you kind of get into a pinch and kind of an emergency. And the Red Cross has always been available to everyone. But now, since we're partners, they've been on the podcast. We have an English podcast, the Caregiving podcast. We have a Spanish podcast. You know, Sabes Que con AARP, which is anything having to do with AARP. And it's just, it's a great partnership because we're able to leverage all the great things that we both do together to help the 50+ community and their families and the communities where they live.
Awesome. I love that. Before we go, could you give us that website one more time?
So the Caregiving podcast is aarp.org/Houston PTC.
Okay.
And the one in Spanish, Sabes Que con AARP, is aarp.org/Sabes Que.
Okay. And the one for hurricane preparedness?
Hurricane preparedness is aarp.org/Houston.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in and talking with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, guys. We are going to be right back after this break.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month, both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 1.9% APR for 60 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. Ron Carter, Cadillac.com.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Welcome back. Did you get some really good tips from Miss Juanita? I know that I did. Today we talked about hurricane preparedness, but I have a question for you guys. How are you staying prepared in life in general? Like, what does staying ready look like for you? And my story, I always have a story, and I'm going to always have a story. Staying ready so you don't have to get ready, right? That's something that we have all heard, but it's really, really true. And I think back to my time when I was on Food Network. I was originally supposed to be leaving for the show in March 2020. Like literally a week before we were about to leave, COVID just really hit the world and we could not travel anymore. So guess what? During the pandemic, I did what everyone else did. Yum, yum, yum. I ate, and I ate. Now, I knew that at some point this show would come back, but I didn't know when. Fast forward from March to October during the pandemic, at home alone, only God knows how much weight I actually gained. But then when the show did call me, I literally had 1 week. I had a total of 7 days to get ready to leave, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't physically ready. So I'm saying to you, whatever your dream is and whatever staying ready looks like for you, make sure you do that, okay? So stay ready, be it physically, always stay mentally ready, and always, always stay spiritually ready because you never know what's next for you. And if you're preparing for something, you have to prepare from head to toe, okay? We are going to be right back here tomorrow with me. And if you have any tips regarding the hurricane and how you survived, something that Miss Juanita may not have mentioned and you want to share with the rest of us, make sure you email us at info@americanstartv.com and also follow us on all of our social media accounts, okay? That's Facebook and Instagram at American Star TV. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye-bye.